Hello and welcome to another week of My Book Club. My name is Shasta Roberts and we are reading my book, Stronger Than Your Excuses. All right, we are well on our way through the book and we are on excuse number 11. He is the father of my kids. Let's go. The thought of waiting until the kids have graduated from high school has come across my mind more than once. I know I can stay in my marriage another 15 more years for them. After they are out of the house, I can reevaluate the situation and circumstances and make a decision then. Facebook and Instagram make it easy to show your life as happy, even though it might not be. No one would have to know as long as I kept up the charade. I know it is pretty easy to make things seem perfect on the outside. I've already been doing it most of my marriage. What's another 15 years? No one has to see what happens behind the scenes. Divorce is not talked about on social media. No one posts details about their divorce on their social media accounts. One day their significant other is in their family photos and the next time they are not. Social media is an open book you get to write. You can tell the world all your secrets or none. You can be open and honest or hide behind the facade. You have the ability to filter in and out what you want. It is the one place we can mold our life to look like what we want people to see. The night before I decided to leave my husband, I was at dinner with some girlfriends. Only one person knew what was going on with my marriage, while the others didn't. It is so hard to keep secrets from people you care about. I hate lying, even if I'm having to keep a big secret. There are so many people out there to help you through difficult times if you just open up. A gathering of friends generally consists of filling them in on your life updates. During this dinner, I could not lie. I had been bottling up my marriage difficulties, and these were the women who could help me. So I opened up and asked for help. Help to find the answers I've been looking for. I was seriously contemplating leaving. And honestly, I'm not fully sure what I wanted to hear from them. I'm not sure if I wanted them to validate my feelings to leave or for them to talk me into staying. To be honest, they didn't do either. That's not a true friend's job. A good friend should be a soundboard and like an unlicensed counselor. They should be there for you to talk out your feelings, and then they should ask you good, thought-provoking questions to help you come to your own conclusion. Of course, these were those type of friends, and they did ask a lot of questions. I had been listing my reasons to stay in my head for so long, but this dinner, I said them out loud. The one that hit them the hardest was the reason to stay because he is the father of my kids. So for my kids, I should stay until they graduate. Two of these friends had been through their parents divorcing. They didn't take my waiting till the kids were out of the house reason very well. They right away saw it for what it really is, an excuse. Unbeknownst to me, both of these friends had their parents wait until they graduated to separate. I hadn't thought of what it could truly do to a child to wait. My thoughts were children could grow up with both parents. I thought it wouldn't matter after the kids were out of the house because they would be grown and have their own lives. I was completely wrong in my assumptions. When their parents divorced, they learned their parents were always unhappy. They were just buying their time until the kids were grown to divorce. My friends felt like their entire life was a lie. All those moments they remember a happy family, their parents were actually not happy. Their parents betrayed their feelings and made their life a lie. This was not what I was expecting to hear. It would be better to leave now than to live a lie. This dinner was where I started to rethink all my reasons I needed to stay. This dinner showed me my reasons to stay were just my excuses not to leave. My friends did not make my decision for me, but I left with a whole new outlook and even more to think about. He will always be their dad. No matter what happens, I know he will always be there for them and us, whether we are together or not. Him being their dad will not change if he doesn't want it to. I don't want it to, that's for sure. I'm not hoping I'll have full custody and want to take care of my kids all by myself. I don't want to parent my kids as a single parent. I never want there to be a point where there isn't two of us rooting for our children and being there to support them. Life with kids can be messy and hard. Never once have my children been a burden to me. I know how grateful I am and should be to have given life to these 3 amazing babies. I know not everyone can say that or has had an even longer, harder time getting there than we did. I don't take a single day for granted. I will always be there right alongside them through their lives. I tell them frequently that they will always be my babies. Now that the kids are a little older, they say, "I'm not a baby, Mom." They don't understand yet. They will always be my babies. They won't understand until they have their own. I have a deep connection with my children. I felt them growing inside me for 9 months. They don't only share half my DNA, but I helped bring them into life like no one else can. Sometimes I think it gives me a closer connection with them than their dad. What I do know is that they will always be mine and I will always need them in my life. Likewise, they will always need me in their life. I will make it a point to stay in their life no matter what is thrown in between us. I will move mountains to be with them. I grew up with the most amazing father. He was always there for me, and I've always been closer to him than I am to my mom. We are alike in many ways. Everyone might say I look like my mom. I don't see that. But I act like my dad. He has always been a great role model and mentor to me. I dreamed that my kids would get to grow up with a dad like him. I couldn't have asked for a better one. After being married, I can say that my father-in-law is so amazing to my family and kids. He hasn't always been this way. He has been this way since I have known him, though. When my husband was growing up, he was a weekend father. Most of the time, an absentee father. When they lived 1,500 miles apart, 4 years went by and they never saw each other. 1,500 miles might keep me from my kids for a short time, but it wouldn't be 4 years. My husband didn't grow up with a great father figure. Between his absentee biological father and abusive stepfather, he grew up learning all the ways not to be a father. He has made it clear he did not want to be the father like his dad. He has talked about being a better father than the examples he was exposed to. He even used my dad as an example for someone to idolize as a father. When it comes down to it, he isn't a bad dad. His attention is just misdirected and not focused on what's right in front of him. His head is in the clouds about how imperfect our kids and life in general is and can be. I'm the one always slow to anger, and he is quick to anger. The small things the kids do to be annoying quickly gets to him. Kids are going to be kids, and life will always try to pull you down. Kids don't fit inside a box of quiet where society wants them to be. Yes, you should be teaching them to be respectful, clean up after themselves, be friends with anyone, and nice to everyone. They're still not going to want to eat every meal. They're still slow as molasses to clean up their rooms. They will ask to watch TV or play videos all the time because they think they're deprived. Kids are just like life, imperfectly perfect. Kids are supposed to dream big. The world to them is full of innocence. If we could only see the world through their eyes. They see the world full of wonderful people and a life that has no boundaries. That's okay. We don't want to diminish all their light. I want my kids to thrive and be grounded all at the same time. Teaching my kids about life can be the hardest thing to do, but the most rewarding. Having someone else there to help back or guide you can be beneficial. When it comes to my husband and me, we are one unbelievable team. Where I lack, he soars. Where he lacks, I nurture. He has a way with words around emotions and feelings I seem to lack when simplifying something for the kids. But he is quick to temper when they misbehave. But he is quick to talk out and leave the kids feeling secure with life. He's overall a good dad and not a horrible person. That doesn't mean I'm happy though. The kids love their dad so much. He has always done whatever he needs to keep a roof over their heads and food in their bellies. I do know that. Being in our lives does not mean he is participating in our lives, though. Participation is not just being a face in the background. It is about being present and active. It is being there for the little things that show someone you love them. It's playing games, building Legos, playing dollhouse, watching sporting games, being present when you're not required to be. My husband was only 3 years old when his parents divorced, and he never wants his kids to have to go through what he did. He had to tough it out through an abusive stepfather, on top of his lack of fathering from his actual dad. But he doesn't see he has turned into the father he did not want to be. The father who is there for the big events and gone for the small ones. My husband became the weekend father, all while living under the same roof as us, working all week and fishing on the weekends. He segregated himself from us out of choice. Although he is technically present in our lives, he has chosen not to participate on a daily basis. For years, I have made excuses to our kids, friends, family, coaches, and so on for him not joining us. I never wanted anyone to know he willingly chooses to be somewhere else. I played right into his hand and made sure he looked like a good person, even though he wasn't there, and I was. I don't want an okay or good father for my kids. I want an amazing, engaged, and attentive father for them. I'm tired of skirting the truth to make it seem like something different. We deserve more. All right. That is another chapter of my book club, of my book, Stronger Than Your Excuses. Leave a comment for me on here so I know what you think of the chapter and give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you see the notifications of new posts when you get them, and hit that notification bell so it pops up for you. And I will see you guys next week for another chapter of Stronger Than Your Excuses. Bye.